Are we hot? Are we hot? Is it a go? Are we live? All systems. Hello, 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 hello. Can you hear me? Are we good? Can we talk? My lights go down. Well, this started out well. Started off well. You can hear me? Great, great. Man, we will have to edit the beginning of this live. Well, finally. All right, man. So, the Las Vegas Raiders have some interesting dilemmas coming up against the Kansas City Chiefs. A lot of the nation wants them to automatically lose now. Kansas City wants to lose also. They don't want to win. They don't want to give the Raiders Mendoza. We will talk about that. We also have some news on former head coach Antonio Pierce getting some head coaching interviews. Where will those be? We will talk about that. Also, in the news, some head coaching candidates have surfaced for the Las Vegas Raiders. Who will they be? Well, stay tuned and find out. And then, Jonah Laulu. What does Jonah Laulu have in common with one of the greatest Raiders to put on a silver and black uniform? Well, let's get into that now. Jonah Laulu. And then we'll talk about Fernando Mendoza and also some quarterbacks that shine during the college football playoffs. We got to talk about them, right? How could you let it go? So we will talk about that. Also, Fernando Mendoza. But Jonah Laulu, Raiders defensive end, hometown boy, went to Bishop Gorman High School, a team that won a lot of championships in Las Vegas, right? So the hometown boy needs only 3 tackles against the Kansas City Chiefs to pass Max Crosby for the most tackles, 86, in the first 2 seasons of their career. Max Crosby holds the franchise record with 86 tackles in his first 2 seasons as a Las Vegas Raider. And Jonah Laulu is only 2 tackles away from tying Max Crosby and 3 tackles away from passing Max Crosby for the all-time leader in tackles in the first 2 years as a Raider. So shout out to Jonah Laulu. I hope and pray, my man. I hope he has like 10. Really, I hope he just blows it up. I hope they put him out there as much as possible. And also in the news, Pete Carroll has said all systems go. If you're wearing a silver and black jersey, supposedly you will be on the field against the Kansas City Chiefs. He also stated he don't know how that's going to work. He's never done this before, which he said in many, many press conferences. He's never done this before, and he doesn't know how it's going to work. So we will get to that. But Pete Carroll said all systems go. He would like to see Aiden O'Connell. He would like to see Kenny Pickett against the Kansas City Chiefs at home in Allegiant Stadium. Questions were asked. How will it go? Is Kenny going to start? Is Aiden going to start? He said, stay tuned. He's not giving away everything. Shout out to everybody in the building. Double tap the screen if you're picking up what I'm putting down. Also, Pete Carroll said, was asked a question if Aiden O'Connell and Kenny Pickett would be like a rotational thing. And he said that's the plan. He doesn't want to give away all the plans, but that's the plan going forward is, you know, maybe they'll be subbing in and out, which is going to be rough for the Kansas City Chiefs defense, right? It's going to make it rough for the offensive line. 2 different style quarterbacks, one a little bit more mobile than the other. Another one that's, needs a little bit more, what really doesn't need more time in the pocket, but will stand in there and take a hit. So look forward to seeing Aiden O'Connell and Kenny Pickett. As we talked about yesterday, the Raiders have moved on from Cam Miller. So those are the only 2 quarterbacks on the roster. Geno Smith is inactive for this game and will be sidelined. So it's Kenny Pickett, it's Aiden O'Connell. How much of both will we see? We don't know. Tune in, find out. I will be live as always. We will break it down. All right, people in the building. Who we got? Who we got? Raiders Unleashed is first. Greg Lira, appreciate you, my guy. Candy Angel, we can hear you finally. Thanks, appreciate you. Dante Moore coming out after he wins the national title. Well, you know, he's got a couple people standing in his way, and one of those people is Trinidad Chambliss. Yes, Trinidad Chambliss, a man who is fighting, was fighting for one more year. Like we were screaming for AP, right? One more year, one more year. Well, Trinidad Chambliss was and still is battling for one more year of eligibility in college football so he can stay at Old Miss. But Old Miss is nasty, bro. They put on a hell of a performance against Georgia, you know, and the kid had what was his numbers? I think 26 for 38 or some shit. So, not as great numbers as Fernando Mendoza, but he was also Fernando Mendoza was asked to throw the ball 16 times, right? He completed 14 of them. Great numbers. But Chambliss in the first playoff game against TCU had 3 touchdowns. I do believe two passing, one rushing. This kid is an athletic freak. So if he comes out, if he doesn't get eligibility, there's talks fourth round, third round. I think he goes higher than that. I think once the scouts see this man, if he goes to a Shrine Bowl or one of these bowls, if they continue to win, right? So Dante Moore has a damn good chance of winning the Natty, but there's some damn good quarterbacks in his way that also would like a shot at hosting that trophy. And Trinidad Chambliss is one. He is definitely one. V Beasley, what's good, my guy? It's been a minute. Ain't seen you in a while. Hope you all is well. Who do you want number one? I'm still on the trade back thing. I'm still on the trade back thing. If you trade back with the Jets, which is a very high possibility, all the birdies in my ear are saying the Jets want Mendoza. That's the only quarterback. They need a quarterback. They need their franchise guy. And they believe Fernando Mendoza is that guy. So if the Jets are willing to pay a king's ransom, and we only got to drop down 2 spots, and there's guys like Trinidad Chambliss possibly in this draft, I would be willing to roll the dice and put all my cards on the table to get as many draft picks as possible. Now, if we had a head coach that has been here for a year, 2 years, 3 years, and there was some kind of stability, if there was some kind of offense already set, right? If there was some kind of defense strategy, but the Raiders don't have that. The Raiders don't know who their head coach is going to be. They don't know who their staff is going to be. And another little birdie in my ear says Patrick Graham is like 98% chance of not returning for the Las Vegas Raiders. So more than likely he'll get an opportunity somewhere else. And the Raiders just have, there's too many decisions to make if you're Tom Brady, if you're Spytech, of what you're doing. Do you take a quarterback number one? Fernando Mendoza very well could be the future, and it could be exactly what this team needs with Brock Bowers, with Ashton Genty. You got a decent run game behind him. You give him an offensive line like he has in Indiana, and Fernando Mendoza. I mean, he can make all the throws, right? He can pick up first downs if he has to with his legs. The kid is, he's there, but is he special? Is he Caleb Williams type special? Like able to avoid plays and make something out of nothing that should be, 10 or 15-yard losses turn into 50-yard touchdowns. I'm not sure he is that guy, but there's a couple guys that very well could be next year. And the quarterback class next year is just so much better looking than this. So trade back, man. That's where I'm at. Trade back. If the Raiders don't have any people, that want to trade, then take Mendoza. Take Mendoza. Swing for the fences. I don't think it's it's a miss. I don't think it's anywhere close to a Jamarcus Russell scenario, right? This guy is in the playbook, right? He has his goals. He has, he has his eggs in a basket, right? He knows what he wants. He's also capable of turning the culture around like he did in Indiana. Not so good in Cal, right? He had a two decent seasons in Cal, but he goes to Indiana and helps change the culture around. Now, is that Signetti? A lot of people probably would say yes. So Fernando Mendoza can't be bad, but the Raiders have to know that that's their guy, right? They have to be 100% all in that Mendoza's him, and they're willing to build around him, and also be patient with him because if if you're not patient, then man, it's bad. But there's a lot of things that just go into this number one pick. So um, picking a player at number one just doesn't seem the right thing to do this year, though. You didn't want Sanders, but you want Mendoza. I don't want Mendoza. I didn't say that. I didn't say that. I said that if they pick number one, that's the rest. And no, I didn't want Sanders either. Sanders turned out to be, I mean, okay, right? He didn't even have as good of a year as Aiden O'Connell had. Nobody wanted Aiden O'Connell either. This Oregon Indiana game will be very interesting. Indiana won once already, but this has bigger implications. Shout out to my guy Jason Jasana. Jasana, how you say that? Um, this game has a lot of implications, right? A lot of bigger implications. It has a national championship on the line, holding that natty trophy, right? Uh, Making it to the next round. Has two quarterbacks that are predicted that if one decides to come out, could possibly, go number two. I think that's a stretch. I think it's a big stretch, right? Dante Moore has those Caleb Williams, style tendencies, right? Where he can throw the ball at different angles. He can win with not the greatest, receivers. Most of his guys were hurt this year, but he's also pretty green, right? He's also pretty green. Doesn't have a lot of snaps. This college playoffs is obviously going to help those snaps. So I don't know. It's really looking like Mendoza's the only guy, but don't sleep on these other quarterbacks. There's a lot of quarterbacks in this draft still. That's names will be mentioned, I'm sure. Um, how are the Raiders doing this year? Seahawks going to the Super Bowl. Tom Brooks. That's messed up. That's all I gotta say. Hit them thumbs up. Honestly, I'd rather see Pickett. I've seen enough of AOC. That's crazy talk. That's crazy talk. I'm glad you're not a coach, a scout, or have anything to do with bringing quarterbacks into the NFL. I don't know how you could say you've seen enough of Aiden O'Connell. 22 touchdowns to 12 interceptions. He's also had more wins than the last three draft classes in his first in his first in his rookie season, only playing 12 games. A lot of them played a whole 17 games. He's got more wins than Dart. He's got more wins than Tyler Shuck, who's killing it with the Saints. He's got more wins than Caleb Williams did, or not more wins, but better quarterback stats and rating than Caleb Williams, then JD5. Same numbers, just not as many yards. So I don't know how you can say you've seen enough of Aiden O'Connell. Maybe you just haven't been watching, or you've been watching with blinders because you're listening to what everybody else says. I don't know, but I don't know how anybody could say they've seen enough of a kid that all he's done is come out and help this team anytime he's out there. Raiders is my favorite team. Um, they used to mess people up back in the day. That was way, way back in the day. Shout out to the 18 people in the building. Shout out for the 100. I appreciate you. Live and drinking his ice. Oh yeah, you gotta have that healthy ice. No sugar, no additives, no preservatives. Hard tackles, that's the way we love them, right? Yeah, that used to be the way. Al Davis used to say, right? The quarterback's got to go down, and he's got to go down hard in the first, couple minutes of the game. You got to let him know we're gonna be on you. It ain't gonna be easy. You better be looking over your shoulders. That's how games were won. Intimidation. The Raiders ain't intimidating nobody. They intimidate themselves. I think going out on the field thinking, damn, how can we mess this up? Um, Candy likes you. Favorite coffee? Who's salute? Let's go Navy. Navy vet, man. I apologize, bro. I forgot all about that damn game. I got caught up in some shit. I came home and I did get to watch like a little bit of the last of the third quarter. I went back and watched a little bit of the first and the rain. Man, there's some dogs in Navy. There's some dogs over there. That quarterback didn't look too bad. The tackle didn't look too bad. Their guards, their offensive line looked pretty solid. So they got some sleepers over there in Navy. And the head coach, man, I like their coach. I like the way their defense and offenses ran. I didn't watch much of Navy, but they got a solid team over there. Stranger Things, got my feelings like the Raiders did this season. Well, okay, I'm with you on Mendoza. Um, he is exponized at the trade back, get more core, and get a quarterback later in the draft. I mean, right? Because right now they lost Cam Miller, so you have no Cam. Basically, if they cut Geno Smith, Kenny Pickett's a free agent. The only quarterback in the building right now is Aiden O'Connell. So they have to draft a quarterback this year. There's no way around it unless you go get a Malik Willis. If you go get a Malik Willis and you bring him in the building and possibly trade for a Shador Sanders, I mean you could go that route or trade for one of these young kids that shit. They got one over there on the Saints that in a couple years might be all right too. Well, yeah, I think if you trade back, look, here's the thing: if you trade back, let's look at these quarterbacks for next year. Quarterbacks for next year. Where are we at? All right, here we go. So next year's quarterbacks, yo. This is projected, and we'll get to this year's. We talked about them last year, but if you look at next year's class, these are projected to come out, right? Julian Sand, Ohio State. Arch Manning. I'm gonna stop right there. Arch Manning, you're telling me that I could trade back this year, possibly get two first round picks this year, possibly a second or a third this year, and a first round next year. That if we're good, we can use those two picks to move up and get an Arch Manning. If we're bad, we could get an Arch Manning and still have another first round pick. Come on. Come on, man. Stop. Stop. How do you take Mendoza when you have Arch Manning, a Manning, a Manning? All they do is win Super Bowls, right? You have that dude that's got two uncles on the phone that all he's got to do is say, "Man, I had a bad game. Like I'm having problems with cover 3. I'm having problems with cover 2." They're in the building in a heartbeat. Come on, man. You can't pass up on a possible Manning next year, even if it's the following year. I'm old, but I'm willing to wait. Uh, Arch Manning, you have South Carolina's South Carolina. I think it's USC, right? USC. Jaden Mavea, 6'4", 230, right? A little bit 1 inch less than Mendoza, but got more weight, a little bit thickness, a little bit more muscle than Mendoza. Dude's got a hell of an arm. He's mobile. Looks pretty damn good, right? One more year in college football. I mean, come on. Lenora Sellers. South Carolina didn't have, the greatest year this year, but the kid's talent and his upside is through the roof. Dylan Raiola, right? A kid that wants to be Patrick Mahomes more than he wants to be himself. More than likely will end up transferring to Texas Tech or Oklahoma. Um, but Dylan Raiola, one more year in school, right? Not the greatest year this year, but come on, you put him on a team that needs a quarterback, right? You put say Dante Moore comes out, you put Dylan Raiola with Oregon. Is he a better quarterback than he was with Nebraska? We don't know, right? I think he's got a lot of issues that he needs to work on, but in the right system, he could be another one. You got Sam Levitt, right? Sam Levitt at Arizona State, 6'2", 205 pounds. You got Brendan Sorsby out of Cincinnati, another kid, that young man that is, the plays he can make with his legs, the ability to make people miss, the speed he has for a quarterback, a 4.6. That's pretty quick, right? That's moving. So DJ Lagway, Nico Nico Lamavia, Lamavia. I don't know, Lamavia. I think also another damn good quarterback with another 13 starts under his belt. Come on, could all these quarterbacks could have a better season than what Fernando Mendoza has had in Indiana with the receiving core, with the top 11 defense in all of college football, with the offensive line that I don't know where they're ranked, but they should be up there because they are solid as hell, with the running back core that rushes for over 150 yards a game. Mendoza's not going to get that in the NFL. So, um, another guy, Darian Menshaw, who I really really like, man. I think this dude is crafty as hell. 6'3", 205. Could probably pack on a little bit more weight, but I mean, how big is Bo Nix? He's made it through 2 seasons in the NFL, no injuries, right? Runs the ball a lot. So um, Darian Mensah is another guy. Like I said, another guy to watch out. Josh Hoover, Aiden Charles, and then Childs, and then shit. Who even knows who else is coming out? But that's 12 quarterbacks that nine of them possibly could be in the top, first 2 rounds, and some of them might be third round quarterbacks, but we don't know, right? We don't know what they're going to do in the offseason, who they're going to train with. A lot of these quarterbacks are in a transfer portal, right? A lot of these quarterbacks might go to a better fit for them in the system. They might have better weapons around them. They might have a better offensive line, and they might have better years than Fernando Mendoza. But I guarantee you, none of them, none of them is Arch Manning. None of them is Arch Manning. The performance that kid had is absolutely just crazy, man. Crazy. At the beginning of the year, I talked a lot of shit. I was like, damn, Arch Manning. Y'all was talking about this dude being the number one pick overall in the draft. The first couple games, he struggled, and he's still struggling in games, but he's learning, he's adapting, and he's able to adapt like a chameleon, man. The kid is definitely special. Stranger Things, ain't no Raider fan. I like Pavea next year to play. If he sucks, get Arch the following year. I don't know if Pavea is gonna make it in the NFL, right? Like, yes, his attitude fits the Raiders totally. He's kind of like a Baker Mayfield type, thrown in with the why do I always forget the damn Cleveland quarterback's name? The Texas Tech kid. Anyways, like, he's got that moxie. But is Vegas really a place for this kid? We've seen the videos. We've seen he likes to party, act a fool. I don't think Las Vegas is the place for Pavea. I think it would be crazy. We won't get a quality we won't get a quality head coach unless they think we have a quarterback worth coaching. Mendoza or trade down for a massive haul next year. Quarterback only options this year. I see possible. I mean, I don't know if it's the only quarterback possible. It's definitely the only quarterback in the first round, right? Mendoza is definitely only the first round quarterback, and even if Chambliss comes out and Dante Moore comes out, I think with their inexperience, unless they do something crazy in the combine and their pro days, unless they go to a place like the Rams that already have a quarterback that could retire in a year or two, and you let them sit for a year or two. I think these guys are great, but do you take them in the first round to let them sit for a year or two? I believe that's a big question. So trading back makes all the sense in the world. I'm a Bears fan, but I respect the Raiders. Appreciate you. Ruben Bain Jr., a good take at number one. Uh, I'm scared. I'm scared, man. I'm scared with Ruben Bain. More than likely, they're going to have to move that man to the inside. And I keep saying this over and over again. 30-inch arms in the NFL against 6'8" tackles is not where you want to be, right? Not all these tackles in college football are 6'8". Some of them, 6'4", 6'5", 300 pounds. And with his bend and his quickness, yes, but he's not the fastest, right? In a 10-yard or a 40-yard dash, he runs a 4.7. So his first step is elite. His power is elite. His he has an arsenal, a tool belt of moves that he can bust out anytime on any player. But in the NFL, you're playing against the best of the best tackles. You're playing against in the AFC West that have guys like Joe Alt. What you gonna do against Joe Alt? Come on, man. So Ruben Bain, I'm not taking in the top 10. He'll probably be a first rounder. I don't see him falling to the second because of his arm length. But we'll see in the combine. And we'll see if he, decides to play in a Senior Bowl or the probably not the Shrine Bowl, but it's probably not Andy Reid's style. But the Chiefs might try to lose on Sunday because they don't want the Raiders to have Mendoza. Yeah, I mean that's been the scenario, and I know the former Raider receiver put that out there on on whose show? Jesse Merrick's show on YouTube. And I agree with that scenario. I was talking about that on this channel also. I was like, man, the Kansas City Chiefs, if they're not in the playoffs, would be, you know, why win? Why win? They get a better draft pick. They're like what 10 now. They possibly are they're 14 or 12th now or something. They could possibly move closer to the top 10 with a loss. I mean, but then again, if this is Andy Reid's last year, if this is Travis Kelsey's last year as a Chief, do you really think they want to go out losing to the Las Vegas Raiders? I don't feel that. I don't see that in Andy Reid's character. I don't see that in Travis Kelsey's character, and I don't feel either one of these dudes going to go out and try to not win on a high note because there is a big chance that Andy Reid might call it quits. Right? You had a good run. You had a great dynasty. You know, it can't be easy for that man traveling all 17 games a season. But we'll see. We'll see. Look what he's doing with the Hurricanes. Yeah, but look at the dude on the other side. They're doubling him. Our what the hell's his name? The hell's his name? Hold up, I got it right here somewhere. Somewhere. Come on, you dumbass. I don't have it in here. I don't even know his name. But the defensive end on the other side, man, is special. That dude is he gets a lot of attention. Sports fan was good. Appreciate you. And just because you dominate in college doesn't mean shit when you get to the NFL, right? Like, look what Ashton Genty did in college last year without the greatest offensive line. Look what he's doing this year. It's night and day. Um, so just because you're dominant in college, yeah, you got a 90-man roster, and not all those players are 5-star recruits. But in the NFL, every one of them players are 5-star recruits, right? First round, second round, third round picks are most of the dudes on the field constantly. Future Raider Mendoza looked good yesterday. Still can't unsee Kirk Cousins with him, but he's better than Gino already. I mean, better than Gino, yes, but is he better than Aiden O'Connell? Is he better than a quarterback that's been in the NFL for 3 years with 15 offensive coordinators and 8 head coaches? That's seen the division. That we need to win in the division. Is he better than that already? I don't know. I would venture to say no. If you're asking me, I'm I don't think he comes in and plays better than Aiden O'Connell in a full 17 game season in his first year. I just don't. I don't even know if you came in and started him next year and his first 12 games would be as good as Aiden O'Connell's. I really don't. I really don't. With a first year head coach and a first year system and everybody learning the system. Look, here's another thing about that coaching thing, right? Hot take, hot take. Fumble, block. Oh, and they ran that back for a touchdown. Good Lord. Sorry. I was watching football at the same time. My bad. Did y'all happen to see the dude run that kickoff return for a touchdown on their second kickoff return? The Raiders need to go get somebody like that. That dude outran the whole entire field and just kept pulling away, pulling away, pulling away. I swear he had jets behind him. But anyways, what I was saying is hot take, and I forgot because I was looking at football. But oh, what I was saying is hot take is I want to see, man, right? A coach be here for a year or two, have a system, have an offensive system, have a goal, have things kind of at least a little bit in place. It's much easier to have your offensive line, your running back, your tight end, and your receivers already knowing a system. That way, when you bring in a rookie quarterback, they can help them along. They can show them, hey, this is what the system is, right? This look, I'm cutting my route here on this time. You need to throw the ball here. I like it when you turn and hand off this way, or I like it better when you turn and hand off this way, right? Um, if you don't know the plays, right, when you're out there in preseason, you got guys around that help you. But if you're bringing in a rookie quarterback with a new rookie head coach, possibly they might go get a young guy, you know, with a who knows a young offensive coordinator, and you're bringing in all these new pieces, trying to make it work is going to be very, very hard. And the fact that Tom Brady wants to sit somebody for a year, are you drafting a guy first overall to sit for a year? Can Mendoza handle sitting for a year? Is he going to get better? Is he going to get worse? What's up, bro? Appreciate you. I could definitely see Dante Moore in a Raiders jersey. I mean, depending on who the coach is, though, right? If you're looking at Tom Brady's style, Dante Moore's not it. Trinidad Chambliss ain't it. Brendan Sorsby's not it. You know, it's more like a Drew Allar. It's more like Cade Klubiak's not even it. It's pretty much Drew Allar or Fernando Mendoza. I think those are more of Tom Brady's type guys. But didn't Tom Brady say he likes quarterbacks that stayed in the same school, that didn't transfer for greener pastures on the other side? He likes quarterbacks that stick it out where they're at and try to make the best out of that system. Did Mendoza do that? I mean, he had pretty decent stats in Cal, but he decided to leave to go to, a better head coach, a way better team, um, way better, right? Way better prospects before he decided to go to the NFL. Like, where would he would have been? Where would he be right now if he stayed in Cal, right? Would he be talked about being a first round pick? Or is it a product of the system? Is it the fact, like I said earlier, he has 11th overall defense? He has a top offensive line. He has the top, I think, rushing game in college football right now. Um, do any of these matter? I believe they do. I think most quarterbacks are a product of their system and a product of their head coach. I kind of think too, if y'all end up picking first, I personally like Dante Moore, Mendoza, brighter ceiling in my opinion. I don't know, man. I mean, does Dante Moore have does he have better traits, like physical traits, than a lot of these quarterbacks that were on lesser teams? Right? I mean, Oklahoma's a good team, but what would John Mateer be if he was playing for Ohio State or if he was playing for Oregon? Oregon seems to, no matter who, right? No matter who their quarterback is, seems to be pretty damn good. They're always in the college playoffs. They're always top. They're always, one or two lost teams. I think a lot of Oregon's quarterbacks are a product of the system. And like I said, a lot of these quarterbacks are. Can you get a coach to build a system in the NFL that's coming in brand new? Most coaches don't have time, are not given time to build a system. The AFC West would have three Oregon quarterbacks. That would be wild. That'd be wild. And like I just said, the quarterbacks coming out of Oregon are crazy. Didn't was it Michael Penix? Where was Michael Penix out of? Did he come out of Oregon as well? You're a Chiefs fan. I'm proud of you. I'm proud of you. I'm proud of you. Let's flip and go. Bang bang. Fruity gang. See chickens are going down. Welcome to Santa Clay. I hope they do, right? I think the 49ers. Wait, who's got to win? The 49ers? Who's got to win? The 49ers or the Seahawks for the Raiders to keep that first overall pick? The Raiders suck. You're not nice. You're a new subscriber. Appreciate you, Kenneth. Appreciate the sub. You ain't getting my cornbread from New York City, damn it. Okay. Um, I didn't even know they ate cornbread in New York City. Sup? What's up, Noah? Are you a Chiefs fan? Nah, bro. JS sub. Appreciate you. Appreciate you. Who should the Raiders draft at quarterback? Um, does it have to be a quarterback this year? Does it have to be a quarterback this year? I mean, I hear a lot of people. Let's talk about this. I hear a lot of people comparing the Las Vegas Raiders to the Washington Commanders, to the Houston Texans. I've compared them to the Houston Texans, but I just want them to take their blueprint. I haven't compared them to them. And also the Chicago Bears, right? The Chicago Bears. I've talked about this before. They had the number one pick. They could have went and got their quarterback. They could have went and got the Texans quarterback, or they could have went and got the Carolina Panthers quarterback Bryce Young, or they could have went and got C.J. Stroud, or they could have took a chance, or they could have took a chance and got who came out in that Anthony Richardson, or they could have took Aiden O'Connell. There's a lot of people that said Aiden O'Connell could have went first round if he would have came out the year before, just because of his skills. So, and it wasn't just one. There's a couple people I've heard that from, but if you're looking at this quarterback class and you look at the last couple years of the quarterback class, Do you really need to take a quarterback? I mean, shit. The golden shit. Shout out for the golden turd, bro. um, you should draft a quarterback. Question. I don't know who we should draft. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. I know we need one, but I don't know if it's this year. I just don't. And Fernando's growing on me, bro. He's growing on me. Ruben Bain will bring the quarterback down hard. He does. He does. But he also has a problem tackling. You know why? You can't you can't tackle like that, bro. That's how long his arms are. I hope I don't ever see that dude. He's a big ass man. Um, but for real though, Ruben Bain has a problem tackling because if you 6'5" quarterback and you put a stiff arm out, you like trying to hold your little brother right when he's trying to hit you. You just hold his head and he's swinging, swinging and swinging. I said this the other night. Ruben Bain's problem tackling is those short ass arms. You can't wrap up against big ass dudes. Against dudes like I said with longer arms that can push you away. So he could or could not be good in the NFL, and it's a crapshoot with a guy like that. The Raiders are shitballs. What are shitballs? People that don't know how to wipe very good? Why would you have shit on your balls? That just sounds nasty, bro. It's nasty. This is a family show on a Friday night. How's Raider Nation doing tonight? Rewind in the building. See now there's a nice chat. I'm doing well, man. How are you doing? How are you doing? Bain Jr. and Max Crosby will be nasty. I believe he would help Max a lot. I think Ruben Bain Jr. would help Max a lot. But do you really take that guy in the first round? I mean, after the Tyree Wilson thing, like Tyree Wilson is 10 times that man's size, and Ruben Bain, yes, has way more traits, but those little arms, man, those alligator arms. I don't know. You're in my city? Question in Fayetteville, Arkansas. Y'all better draft a wide receiver and go Mendoza to go with Mendoza and Genty. I think there's a couple wide receivers we can get in the second round. You know, the Raiders, if they end up with the first overall pick, they also get the first overall pick in the second round, which that is a high commodity also. They could also trade that pick to move back up in the first round. And depending on where they go, if they take Fernando Mendoza, maybe they go get a receiver. Maybe they hop back up into the first round and go get Jacoby Lane or Cardell Tate or one of these cats. Raiders suck. Imagine getting 2 wins. Absolutely cheeks. Yeah, I mean, but you do get paid for it though, right? You get the number one overall pick. So a season of suffering, I mean, it sucks. But if you're a Raider fan, we've had many years of suffering, many, many seasons. So what's suffering one more? This is the only year that we've suffered that we might actually get something out of it. And if they have the number one overall pick and they trade back, we get a whole bunch of somethings. It'll be Christmas all over again in April. So, can't stay cheeks for long. Raiders okay. They need better team players. I think they need the team players to be coached better. I think we've had a problem with coaching the last couple of years. One coach was very, very good, and Josh McDaniels was very systematic, but the players didn't like him. They didn't like his arrogance. They didn't like his attitude. They didn't like having to, stay long nights and try to learn the game of football and learn his system. And it didn't work out well. Antonio Pierce, everybody liked him, but he wasn't very good at coaching. Then they go get Pete Carroll at 74 years old. Everybody loves Pete Carroll. He's really good at coaching, but he sucks with the Raiders. And it looks like he forgot how to coach, which is exactly why smart people in Seattle decided it was time to move on from a Pete Carroll. So we got players. We got players. I think you know, we're probably, I would say, we're probably five, six starters away. That's offense and defense, and probably a good 5 or 6 starters on special teams away from being a decent team. and you know, and a little bit more depth, a little bit more depth. But if we get 5 or 6 more starters, 6 more guys that we push to the depths, this team is solid. You love P Diddy or 50 Cent? I don't love either one. Hello, man. I'm from Brazil. Shout out Brazil. Appreciate you pulling up in the live. What time is it in Brazil? Dolphins fleeced Cam Miller because it was a Brady pick. Brady been doing announcing and got caught lacking. Yeah, he got caught slipping. He got caught slipping. But let me ask you this: I believe Cam Miller and what was the other dude they let get away? Who was the receiver they let get away? Anyways, I think both of those guys were Brady picks, and um, I think it was kind of a Pete Carroll kind of a sabotage thing to leave those dudes on the, you know, to leave them there to get poached, right? Because the Raiders knew, everybody knows that was a Tom Brady guy. The Raiders also know that this kid is going up against Max Crosby every day, right? He's going up against Jonah Laulu. He's going up against a pretty solid defense who lead the league in three and outs but can't win games. So, um, it was dumb for them to leave Cam Miller there, but there's no way they didn't know in the building that somebody was going to take him. I'm sure they didn't expect Cam Miller to get poached week 18. But it's funny that, Cam Miller was drafted before Quinn Ewers. Quinn Ewers had a very solid ass game for the Miami Dolphins, his very first start, in Miami as a Dolphin. So it makes a lot of sense that if you're looking at Quinn Ewers and you're like, damn, this dude had a very good ass game starting, you know, after being on our practice squad all year. And Cam Miller was drafted by Tom Brady above him. How is he on their practice squad? Let's pull him in and see what he's got. So, I wouldn't be surprised if Miami runs with Carson Beck and, Cam Miller next year and maybe brings in another backup. Damn, you a Raider fan? I'm sorry. You don't have to be sorry. I love being a Raider fan. Don't believe in saying. I mean, he's a freshman. He's got time to build, right? But the problem with Julian saying is if he doesn't get it together soon, there's always 15 quarterbacks in Ohio State system that are willing and ready to come in and take that place, and most of them are 4 and 5 star recruits. So if he doesn't get it together in the offseason, he'll be benched just like Cade Klubnik was, just like who else got benched at the just like Taylon Green got benched for the Arkansas Razorbacks, right? Man, I knew Gino was going to be trash, bro, but I didn't think it was going to be this bad. If you watch this channel, I gave you all the warnings. We did breakdown after breakdown of his film in Seattle, his film with the Jets, his his stats um, on PFF, his next gen stats, every game's throwing targets, his fumbles, his interceptions. I tried to warn the nation, man. If you don't follow this channel, well, damn, I can't help you. But most of the people that follow this channel, they all knew, right? Greg Brewer, right? Like, right? Most of these people in here, Candy Angel, they all knew that this season could go two different ways. It could go very, very good, or it could just turn into shit. It could turn into shit fast. And it went the way a lot of us thought it would be if Pete Carroll, or if the Raiders struggled with Geno Smith. Draft Mendoza and a wide receiver at the beginning of the second round. They drafted a receiver at the beginning of the second round last year. Well, they traded back, but they still got one in the second round. And I can't believe I'm saying this. I think Manny equals saying. I don't I don't believe that. I don't believe that. This kid came in Texas. Yes, he has a great coach. Yes, they have a lot of weapons, a lot of speed over there. They have a solid run game and a defense. But Manning has progressed a lot. I was watching tape. just a couple days ago before this game because I was like, man, this kid, his athleticism, right? His speed is ridiculous when he gets into open field. Um, the fact that I've seen him run people over as a quarterback is really starting to grow on me. I was like, man, this dude's got Raider written all over him. He's not your typical Manning. He's not goofy, right? He's not dorky, which no offense to the Mannings, but the dude's got some swag to him. He's got a little bit of swag. He's got a whole lot of confidence, and he's got some dog in him. He really does. Like I've seen him, bitching people to the ground, like the Caleb Williams video everybody's seen. Just heading the defender to the ground. I've seen Manning do the same thing, and I think this kid's traits are they're unbelievable. And the fact that he's just going to get better and has a chance to be better is it's scary. It's kind of scary. I mean, if you look at Peyton Manning when he came into the NFL, right? Everybody thought he was the greatest. He was the first overall pick. Manning's gonna be the shit, right? His dad was, his grandpa. We all know the Manning story. And Manning came into the NFL and struggled, right? Struggled drastically. Had what 26 26 touchdowns to 28 interceptions, I do believe. And then the next year, right? And those were like the first half of the season. The second half of the season, he started picking it up. But then the following year, the dude was lights out. Every year after that was lights out. Eli Manning, we've seen what he's done in the NFL. And then, like I said, when you're Arch Manning and you can pick up the phone and call two of your uncles that have won Super Bowls and ask them any question about any defense, any system, right? If you don't like your offensive coordinator, they could probably get him fired. So I think Manning is the way. If you're a Raiders fan, Manning is the way. And I don't, the last time I jumped on a quarterback this early was Jackson Dart. I was like, bro, Jackson Dart. I said it 2 years ago. 2 years ago when he played my Razorbacks, I was like, man, this kid, he's gonna be special. He's gonna be special. And there's not too many. JD5, I knew was gonna be special. I think Manning is one of them ones, man. When was the last time the Raiders won a playoff game? 2021. Manny Man, P Diddy or 50 Cent? 50 Cent. 50 Cent. I got a feeling Manning is going to the Jets. To the Jets? That would make sense. Next year. But do the Jets wait? I mean, I guess they could take a swing for the fences this year, and if it doesn't work, if they don't see upside, then they could take a swing for the fences next year also. We need a quarterback and a running back. I like Sellers. I like all them dudes. Manny's 2 years away. Y'all gonna be better than the Jets next year. Are we though? Are we gonna be better than the Jets next year? And here's the thing, Keaton. Does it matter if we're better than the Jets? Because if you're sitting at number one, you're gonna get minimum two first rounders plus. Now you could get two first rounders this year, or you can get a first rounder this year and a first rounder next year, which gives you two next year, right? And remember what Chicago did. I talked about it earlier. The Chicago Bears, they had the number one pick, but they didn't like the quarterbacks because there was only two, right? It was Bryce Young, who was short. A lot of people said he's not going to make it in the NFL. You're going to have to run a certain kind of system, right, to get him in throwing lanes. You're going to have to run a lot of RPO. You're going to have to roll him out of the pocket like you do Kyler Murray, right? There's a lot of things that go in a smaller, shorter quarterback. And Bryce Young, a lot of people thought was not that guy. But a lot of people thought that CJ Stroud was that guy. And, turns out both of them are pretty damn decent. It just took Bryce Young a little bit, more time. But CJ Stroud is a dog. But the Chicago Bears weren't convinced that either one of those guys were their future quarterback. Why? Because they seen a quarterback play in Oklahoma, and then he left and went to USC and had a crazy ass year. And they were like, Caleb Williams, I like this guy's potential, right? So they were willing to wait until the following year because they knew that they could trade with somebody and trade out of that first round pick. They ended up trading out of the first round pick with the Carolina Panthers. The Carolina Panthers got Bryce Young. The Chicago Bears got their first round pick. Bryce Young didn't help the Carolina Panthers. The Carolina Panthers sucked so bad they had the first overall pick the following year. Well, they didn't have the first overall pick because they traded that pick to the Chicago Bears. So the Chicago Bears played a little mind game. They didn't like the quarterbacks. They traded back. They got a whole bunch of draft capital. They got some solid ass players that are starting right now and helping that team make it to the playoffs. And then the following year, they went and got a new head coach, a new quarterback, a new offensive coordinator, a new whole entire system, and they're in the playoffs. So if you trade back, you get the capital to do the same thing next year. Now, not everybody's going to be in that situation, but like you just said, the Jets will be better than the Raiders next year, right? So if you think the Jets will be better than the Raiders next year and you trade back with them, you get their first overall pick next year, right? See how that works? See, see. And I believe Manning might not come out, right? I've said this since, for the last 2 years. Arch Manning more than likely will stay in school. His parents have money, right? His dad has plenty of money. Both of his uncles have money. His father has money. Um, and he doesn't need the money. His parents are going to make him get an education. Now, there's always the fact that you can do summer school, right? You can take extra classes and you can graduate early. So as long as he gets whatever they want him to get in school, he can come out early. But until then, more than likely, he's going to be stuck in school. But the way he's playing, shit, I wouldn't be surprised if he just decides to enter the draft this year. Let me know in the comments if Eli Manning just up and decides the hell with it. I'm gonna enter the draft and I'll promise my parents I could finish school no matter what. Where do you think he goes? Do you think he goes above Mendoza this year? Let me know in the comments. Um, Guarantee he has an issue, but let's be real. Jack Del Rio was the best coach he had in 20 years. Turned chicken shit into chicken soup, chicken salad. Would you be okay with getting another shot after Pete croaks? I don't think Pete's got a croak. I think he's done. I think he's done in Vegas. I think his time is up. They are more than likely moving on. And I wouldn't be mad at Del Rio. I talked about this a couple times. I just don't know, where Del Rio was at in his life. I do believe it was a couple months ago he got a DUI, right? That says something. So, um, but if he's cleaned up, if he's changed his shit around, and if he's focused on the Las Vegas Raiders and football, I would love to have Del Rio back. Both SC, Mayavea, and Sellers. No, fifth. Forgot about him too. Don't forget to give the content creators a like. Appreciate you. Damn, I'm so far behind in this shit. Hoover gonna follow Mendoza's path and be a Hoosier next season? That would be a good fit, man. That would be a good fit. I really think that Hoover could come in. I really think Hoover could come in Indiana and follow Mendoza's path and probably have a better season than him next year in that system. I mean, that kid's got some talent also. From Cali, but no one are good enough. What? From Cali, but none are good enough. Shout out to Cali in the building. I had enough with Archie Manning. Dude, what? Dude, a bum. Why is he a bum? Bum still. My Denver Broncos winning the Super Bowl. Man, don't get too carried away with that. The Raiders suck. They're never going to win a championship ever. Don't you put that bad juju on me, Ricky Bobby. Arch Manning like Carson Beck. What's a good joke, Mr. Pugh? That's a good joke. The Super Bowl. Who's going to beat us? Well, that's a good question. Who is going to beat the Denver Broncos? I believe the New England Patriots could beat the Broncos. I believe the Buffalo Bills could beat the Broncos. I believe that might be it. And no, um, How about those Jacksonville Jaguars that put belt to ass on your team? How about the Jaguars? What do you mean who's gonna beat us? Jesus is king. King of what? We'll trade Champ McDuffie for Max. Come on, man. Mendoza, our kid from Oregon, are from Ole Miss. Trinidad Chambers. And I don't want to hear that shit that everybody else is talking. Trinidad Chambers is only 6'2", 200 pounds. Yeah, you can get in the weight room in the off season. You can build up those legs a little bit. But what is Bo Nix? Bo Nix is only 6'2", right? Look at the year he's having. So, you know, size, size ain't always everything. It's not always the size of the dog in a fight. It's the size of the fight in the dog, right? So, heart means a lot in the NFL. And at 6'2", right? That's not too small. Or 6'1", it's not the smallest. Not the smallest. So I think all three of them are going to be good. I think Chambliss needs another year in college football. If he could get it, it would be great for him. If they win this college championship, it'd be even better for him. I think Dante Moore. Another year would be better for Dante Moore. I don't really think any of these kids can come out. I think Ty Simpson should stay in school. I think pretty much everybody that is planning on staying in school definitely should repent and go to heaven. Is that how it works? Are you guaranteed? Is it guaranteed? Negative. Bills are going to fail and the team will be broken up. That could very well be a hot take. Ole Miss kid might not even be an NFL player. Um, I think Trinidad Chambliss might. All he's done is win. He was at a D2 school, and they won the title pretty much every year over there. So the kid knows how to win. He come in, he takes over from an injured quarterback and never looks back. And I believe you know his athleticism. He can spin the hell out of the ball. He's got to work on pre-snap read, right? He's got to work on decisiveness. But he makes some damn good throws, man. He's made some damn good throws, and that athleticism alone should get him close. Paper boy like football. I'm gonna think about the Bills. Hey, let's go to this. Can't keep doubling Max Crosby and Rupert Bain. No, you can't double both of them. That's a fact. Anybody ever admit that Mark Davis doesn't care if we win? He has the highest gate in the NFL this year. I don't know. I don't know. Man, good lord. All right, I can't answer all those. I'm gonna go to the bottom. Lamar Jackson, 6'2", 185, and he's a dog. See, that's same thing. Jackson Dart, Bo Nix, right? All these guys. So there's a lot of these cats that are 6'1", 6'2", and they're dogs in the NFL. It's all about your size, your heart, and your fight. Shout out if I missed anybody's comments, but I got to keep up with this shit. It's a little fast. All right, so let's talk about the other news. The other news. Topic number two. We're an hour in. We're still on number one. Topic number two. We talked about Jonah Lalu. Number two is Antonio Pierce is in the news. Again, Antonio Pierce has been in the news a lot lately. A lot lately. He is rumored to be on the high list for the New York Giants coaching job. So Antonio Pierce, former coach of the Las Vegas Raiders, more than likely will be interviewed by the New York Giants, a team he played for and won a Super Bowl for, a team whose owner tried to get him to be the defensive coordinator last year and he turned it down when he got some interviews. So don't be surprised. Don't be surprised if Antonio Pierce and his, quick tongue finds his way as the head coach for the New York Giants. What? You think Lamar Jackson? Oh, no, you think Lamar Jackson is going down as a top five quarterback of all time? Are you for real? What planet do you live on? Are you a Ravens fan? Lamar, the best dual threat quarterback anyone's ever seen before. Be real. Dual threat quarterback. Hi, go Razors. Raiders. Raiders need a better defense. Raiders need to bulk up the defense. Yes. But back to Lamar Jackson. You got me spitting on myself. Lamar Jackson, a top five quarterback of all time? Of all time? You're telling me he's better than guys that have won the Super Bowl? You telling me he's better than a Joe Montana? You telling me he's better than a Dan Marino? You're telling me he's better than a shit, even a John Elway? You're trying to tell me that he's better than these quarterbacks? Come on, man. Just because he can make plays with his legs does not mean shit, right? In the big games, in the playoffs, he turns the ball over, um, fumbles the ball. Like, I don't see Lamar Jackson being in the top five of anything. And maybe we'll have this debate one day and we'll break down stats. But come on, you got Travis Henry, one of the best running backs of all time. And if you don't believe me, he's top 10 in yards in the history of a running back. And you still can't win a playoff game. You still only won 5 games this year. I don't see Lamar being a top five, bro. I think that's a pretty biased take right there. Now maybe by the time his career ends, right? If Lamar Jackson gets you know, a playoff win, if he if he if they make it to a Super Bowl and he wins instead of loses, right? He's got a lot to do to even be close to mention as a top five quarterback of all time, bro. I mean, he's not better than Peyton Manning. He's not better than Tom Brady. He's not better than Joe Burrow. He's not better than the quarterbacks that even playing today. He's not better than Josh Allen. He's not. I mean, he had just as good a year as Josh Allen and lost the MVP. But come on, I just don't think so, man. I don't think so. Best best buy is Rivers. Go Bills. Drake May is better. Lamar Jackson is good but choking and keeps getting hurt. Fact. I think Drake May right now is better than Lamar Jackson. To be honest with you, how did the Raider lose his eye though? It's funny shit. Oh, top five dual threat. Okay. Dual threat. If we're going that, he might be. Um, do you have him above Michael Vick? Because passing wise, I think Lamar Jackson is better than Michael Vick. Drake, I'll debate right now, bro. Drake, what? You're talking about the cat that carries his team every year besides having Henry. I'm talking about the cat that carries his team every year by running the football. I'm talking about the backup comes in and shit plays like he does. I mean, I don't know if Lamar carries him. You could say that he does make a lot of plays with his legs. The first couple of years he was there, but the last 2 years his numbers rushing have gone down. His numbers passing have gone way up, and he's becoming a damn good pocket passer. But I don't know about carrying him. Their defense, I guess, does let them down. They give up a lot of points. So, but they got a lot of weapons over there, man. They got a lot, and they got a damn good coach. Coaching is everything in the NFL, and you got a hardball over there. Drake right now, in my opinion, is the best. JS. JS. What's the JS of this year overall in the league? Just off this year. Drake May's one of them ones, bro. He's one of them ones. Double tap the screen. We got 22 people in here. Shout out to the 22 people in the building. If you like this kind of content, like, subscribe, follow. Think about becoming a member, but double tap the screen, man. All you gotta do is double tap it. Damn, lost 20 people trying to get somebody to touch the screen. Y'all are soft, like wet bread. Drew Brees, Aaron Rodgers. Yeah, there's a lot. Deshaun Watson is better than Lamar. Um, are we going by just 1 year? Are we going by 1 years? Because I think Deshaun Watson might have had a better year or two than Lamar Jackson. And if we're talking about carrying a team, Deshaun Watson did carry a team. But I don't know. I don't know. Deshaun can't stay healthy. Can't stay out of the news. Can't stay out of massage parlors. How the fuck do you say that? Massage parlors. I can't talk. Um, that's a good debate though. Deshaun or Drake May. Let me know in the chat. 20 people in here. Type not Drake May. Type DW for Deshaun Watson, or type LJ for Lamar Jackson. Who do you think's better? Who do you think's had a better career? Who do you think's a better dual threat quarterback? Lamar Jackson or Deshaun Watson? My number one quarterback on passing to be a top five quarterback of all time. Oh, you're a Drake May fan. It's in your name, bro. It's not. You're not biased. I didn't even look at your name, dog. I I think he's better than Michael Vick. Absolutely, he got Vick rushing record his first couple years. He did do that, and he's got way better passing yards. So that's why I didn't put Michael Vick in the conversation. And Michael Vick kind of got messed up with the whole Chip Kelly thing. Drake May is the best quarterback from 2024 draft by far. Am I right? Please tell me if I'm right or wrong. You're right. You're right. I don't. Well, was Caleb Williams in that draft? Yeah, right. JD5 was in there. I don't know. I don't know. I think we're gonna have to. Let's give it 5 years, right? Let's give it 5 years. It's been two. They've all had pretty solid careers. JD5, Jaden Daniels, he got hurt this year. Got hurt a little bit last year. Hasn't started in as many games as them. So let's give Jaden Daniels a little bit more time to see if he can stay healthy. But we knew his size, his durability was going to be a problem in the NFL. That was my number one reason for not wanting him. But right now, I mean, if you're looking at it, Drake May did take a team that had won 3 games last year and turn it around, and they've only lost 3 games. Now, yes, they got Vrabel. Yes, they got Dick Daniels. Excuse me, Josh McDaniels. Caleb Williams, same thing. He got an offensive line. He got a running game. He's got weapons galore. But I would say Caleb Williams has way more passing weapons than Drake May. Right? Does anybody disagree with that? Let me know in the chat. I think. I mean, come on, Dante Moore. You look at what's the other? I can't think of shit right now. But anyways, the two tight ends he's got, Loveland. Yeah, I think Caleb Williams has way more weapons than Drake May, and Drake May is doing way better. So is it the product of the offensive coordinator, the system, the coaching? I don't know, but physically, I think Drake May is better. Damn, Raiders fans suck to be you. It doesn't suck to be me, bro. Might be hard to be a Raiders fan, but it does not suck to be me. Lost 20 people because Raiders suck. Fuck you, bro. Then why you in here? Why you in here? You're a fan, but at least you're not a Cowboys fan. Well, yeah, that's nobody wants to talk about the doo doo of the NFL. I mean, got 22 people in the building. Shout out to them. They rocking hanging with your guy. Do you think the Chiefs are going to cook y'all? I think the Chiefs aren't trying to cook nobody. I don't think the Chiefs want to win. I think they, want to get a better draft spot. I believe they need a new tight end if Travis Kelsey retires. I believe they need a kind of a Max Crosby type player off the edge. Karlowski's not working out for them. I think the Chiefs need to figure out what they're doing on defense in a lot of places. So I don't know, man. I don't know. But I think they're not going to try to win. Remember, he kicked him in the eye and he still scored. What? I'm a Chiefs fan. I hope we lose. Why? As a Chiefs fan, how you representing your team, bro? You're coming in here talking about you want to lose to the Raiders, and you're gonna call them the Gators? Like we're not from Florida, um, so shitty reference. But you really, you really coming in here as a Chiefs fan and saying I hope you hope the Chiefs lose to the Raiders, and Andy Reid's probably maybe more than likely last game as the head coach for the Chiefs, as Travis Kelsey's more than likely last game for the Chiefs, and you're trying to send the Chiefs on with a lose. Tell me, ultimate bandos. What do you get out of the Kansas City Chiefs losing? A couple better draft spots. Lamar Jackson, 100%. Lamar, two people on Lamar. Should I think Jackson Dart, better overall athlete than Drake May? Oh, there's no doubt about that. Yeah, Jackson Dart is a way better athlete, but a better quarterback? No, no. And I'm a huge Jackson Dart fan. I just think in this day and age that if you have a quarterback that can make plays with your legs, pick up first downs right in short yardage situation, and Drake May can do that too. But in the in the style and the you know with the flash that Dart can do it, I just think it's fun. I think it's fun. And Dart's gonna be one of them ones too. He just got to stay out of the tent. DJ Moore, that's it. The hell, Luther Burden the third. Yeah, yeah, that dude. Commit and Roma Dunze. That's who I could think of. Thank you. 1 point. Appreciate you. Need you in here more. I need you in here more because I forget a lot of shit. J Raspect. They only got a 32-year-old man catching the ball though. Well, I mean, yeah, he could strangle the hell out of people, but he could catch the ball too. But that's not all Drake May's got, man. He's got oh shit. He's got Booty, right? He's got Hunter Henry, my Arkansas boy. Shout out to Woo Pig, Hunter Henry, making the playoffs. He's got three running backs he could throw the ball to. Like Drake May's got weapons. They're just not known weapons. Thoughts on the Cowboys? What do you want to know? What do you want to know? I think it might be, wiser than with all those picks they have to go get a quarterback. I think, maybe the Cardinals with Dak Prescott, right? I believe Dak Prescott would be decent for the Cardinals, but I don't know. I kind of like Jacoby Brissett over there also. Cowboys got problems, man. They got problems. They're exactly like the Raiders were before Al Davis died. God rest his soul. But whether you like it or not, we're real on this show, and that's just how we do. But Al Davis, in his last 10 years, really hurt the Raiders. Right? He got up there to the point where, kind of like Jerry Jones, kind of like Pete Carroll right now. His mind's not all the way there. They want to believe it is, but just because of their pride. But it's really not. And I think Jerry Jones would be best to hand the reins over to his son or whoever's taking over that, and just be a part of it instead of making all the decisions. Because getting rid of Micah Parsons was crazy. I mean, let's be honest, crazy as hell. And yeah, they got a good defensive tackle out of it. They got some draft picks, but what are they gonna do with it? You think Pete fires his son and finally improves that O line? Oh, now there's a hot take. Let's get to that. You look like Limp Biscuit. How many people are gonna call me Fred Durst? Come on, dog. I've been told that my whole life. When I had long hair, they said I was Kid Rock. Now I'm Fred Durst. What the fuck is going on with y'all? Cheers. Um, but yeah, if Pete Carroll does fire his sons and moves on from Geno, there's a good possibility the Raiders might keep him around. I mean, I don't think that was the only problems with the Raiders this year, and I don't think the O line turns around with Pete Carroll in the building. I think Pete Carroll is too proud. I think he has an ego. We constantly hear him talk about himself in the third party about, Pete's won 10 games every year he's been a coach, right? We're in the playoffs or in the playoff hunt every year. Like I think he believes in himself of what he used to do, he can still do, and I think that's going to hurt Pete Carroll. Um, Race Lingo, use this to get y'all a star quarterback. By the way, I'm a Dolphins fan. Shout out for the $10, man. Appreciate you in the building. And yeah, we definitely need a quarterback, and y'all just stole ours, man. I hope Cam Miller works out for you though. You might have a little bit of competition over there. Quinn Ewers looks like he could be one of those guys that could lead your franchise on a quarterback, cheap deal for the next couple years while you rebuild also. So the Dolphins are in good shape. I don't know what their cap space looks like, but man. Packers fan here. Shout out to Snoops JB4. Um, and we're absolutely cooked such disappointment after Kraft and Parsons died. What? What you mean? Kraft and Parsons died. Were they on a plane together somewhere? Did I miss it? Did I not hear about it? What's my favorite team? Um, you know, I just it starts with the R. They got an eye patch. No hate on the Raiders. Appreciate you, Harrison. Unless you're just a piece of shit, it's kind of hard to hate on the Raiders. How could you kick a team that's been down for 35 years? Like you have no soul, you have no compassion, you have no heart, right? Are you even a human being? Like I mean, I know everybody hated on the Raiders back in the day because we were dominant and you know we have a tough ass, rugged, thug fan base, but it's how could you hate on a team that hasn't won shit in 100 years? So I appreciate you, Harrison, not hating on the Raiders. We need more people like you. A Chinaman. Should I even read this? Hold on, let me read it quietly. Okay, I'm not gonna read that, bro. Y'all read it in the chat. You gotta be funnier. You gotta be funnier. Pretty funny though. It was all right. Do I want Mendoza? I don't roll that way. I'm kind of into females. Cowgirls' butts drive me nuts. I'm just kidding, but nah. I mean, do I have a choice? Do I have a choice? No, no, I don't. I don't. Will I be happy if the Raiders draft him? I'm not gonna be mad. Do I think he has a future in the NFL? Yes. Do I want it to be with the Raiders? I mean, I I haven't liked a million of their draft picks in the last 50 years of my life, so it's just one more I'm gonna have to deal with, right? If that's the way they go and they believe that Mendoza is that guy, I just hope to God it is because after 50 years, my um, my loyalty is shrinking, bro. It's shrinking. It's hard to stay loyal to stupidity, right? And if you could stay loyal to stupidity constantly, then who's the stupid one? Is it them or is it you, right? I mean, I know everybody, but if you're saying he's Kirk Cousins, have you watched tape? Or did you just hear somebody, comp him to Kirk Cousins? Did you just hear a comp saying Frendoza might be, Kirk Cousins? Because if you watch the tape side by side, I don't see their throwing motion being the same. I don't see their drop step and their hitch being the same. I don't see their internal clock being the same. You know, but if you're just comparing them as a comparison to a pocket passer that has a little bit of mobility, then yeah, right. I've also heard him compared to Matt Ryan. I mean, did Matt Ryan did he win a Super Bowl with the Falcons? I mean, he had what Plexico Burris and threw the ball all over the field. I mean, but is he really Matt Ryan? I don't know. Are they just comparing him to Matt Ryan because of his intelligence, because of his love for football? Because Matt Ryan could also wasn't the mobilest dude on the planet, but he didn't have a problem running. Right? He'd step up in the pocket and take off if he had to. So there's a lot of comparisons out there to Fernando Mendoza. But I think really he's kind of Mendoza, right? I don't think Kirk Cousins had Mendoza's energy. I don't think he had his passion, right? Crying after games, right? Screaming, talk. He can't talk. He's loud. Um, definitely a different personality. Their game might have similar aspects, but then if you look at Matt Ryan, right? Matt Ryan is a quiet, quiet kind of humble dude, not not loud, not rah rah. And Fernando Mendoza seems like a one of those rah rah dudes. He's one of those dudes that's gonna grab his teammates and shake them and yell and scream and pump dudes up, right? So personality wise, I wouldn't compare him to any of those dudes, and I don't know who I'd compare him to. I don't. Um, I think he's kind of just a Mendoza, right? Kind of to his own. Go back and watch a lot of these guys in the first round press conferences, right? Nobody's been. There's not too many guys that loud, that energetic. If you go back and look at Carson Beck, right? He was quiet. He was timid. If you go look at Trinidad Chambliss, his interview, right? Very respectable, very quiet. But you look at Fernando Mendoza, he's yelling and screaming at the camera. He's excited. He's pumped up. He's just passionate and loves football. So I love that about the kid. I love that about the kid. And it's starting to grow on me because we're having these conversations, right? And I'm thinking, maybe he's not a Kirk Cousins. Maybe he's not. Maybe he's not Matt Ryan. Bro, this team sucks this year. And what? Bro, your team sucks this year. And that was Soda Vikings all the way. Soda. I don't know what you're talking about. Um, Andy Reid coming back next year, but Travis probably done if he's smart. Do you think Andy Reid comes back? I don't think there's a chance Andy Reid might have coached his last game, man. I don't know. I mean, what does he have to prove, right? Maybe just for the love of the game? Like, come on, bro. He's been there, he's done that. He had his run in Philly. He had his run with Kansas City. They've been great runs. I mean, just pack it up. Give somebody else a chance. Give somebody else a chance. Happy New Year to you, my G. Nathan 9918 in the building. Kirk Cousins, I'm glad to see another Cousins fan. Y'all need to pick up Francis Magoa, and try to fix that outline and draft a quarterback in 2027 and 28. Logan, appreciate you. It makes a lot of sense, right? It makes a lot of sense, and I'm 100% on that train of drafting a quarterback next year, especially if you could trade down. I mean, I hate to keep beating a dead horse and saying the same thing over and over again, but the value of this pick, right? The Jets aren't going to be the only team that wants Mendoza. When there's a draft with only one quarterback in it, in the top in the first round, it's like a shark frenzy. There's a lot of teams that need a number one franchise quarterback. The Miami Dolphins, maybe they need one. Um, maybe the Colts, maybe the Indianapolis Colts, right? I did a mock draft yesterday, and I haven't done any live because I don't know who's coming out. But just shits and giggles for myself, did a mock draft, and lo and behold, who jumped up and tried to get the first overall pick? The Indianapolis Colts. Now it sucked because they didn't have anybody to trade, because they gave away their first round picks to go get Sauce Gardner. So they were offering a second, a third, a fourth, a fifth, a sixth, in a 2007 first and second, and a player, which is a lot. That's a lot of draft capital. So basically the Indianapolis Colts, knowing that they were a playoff team before Daniel Jones got hurt, and I know it's just a mock draft, but they were willing to throw everything they had to try to go get to move up to the first round and go get their quarterback, and that could very well be a possibility, right? You could see the Mendoza train getting bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger. Um, and the more people, the more hype on the Mendoza train, right? The more Raider fans keep saying it. The more Raider fans that say Mendoza's the pick, the Raiders are picking Mendoza. You're just making those other teams wanting to give up more draft capital to come and get their guy. So, yes, I want Mendoza. But yes, right? And again, the quarterbacks next year, man, it's just there's so many special kids, and Mendoza's special in his own way, right? Not short bus special, but maybe he might be after that interview, screaming, crying, yelling. We don't know, but the kid is talented as hell. At least Drake May, at least Drake May doesn't stay bound like a pretty boy, and he's whacked. He hasn't already had two concussion protocols in his first season. Drake May will run the ball too. He loves to run the ball. He ask him. He's definitely wants to be a mobile quarterback. He wants to be able that guy, but it's just the system that he's in. Josh McDaniels won't allow their quarterbacks to be that mobile, right? It's not his fit. The quarterback stays in the pocket, throws the football. You only run if the pocket collapses around you. There is no there is no called, plays for the quarterback unless it's a quarterback sneak on first and, or fourth and one, right? It's just a McDaniel system. But Drake May is a dog, man. He can do it all. He can do it all. And, if you look at Drake May and Mendoza, so can anybody tell me the difference? Right? Does Drake May same size, maybe a little heavier, mobile, but not fast. I think Drake May might be a little bit more faster, a little bit faster. But if you compare those two together, right? Since you brought up Drake May, if you compare Drake May and Mendoza, now if you compare their college stats, it's not even close. It's not even close. But if you compare their game, stand in the pocket, um, throw the ball, willing to take a shot, right, to pick up the first down, to make the play, they're kind of similar in that. And Drake May kind of, a quiet dude, but you see him yelling and screaming on the field every once in a while. Yes, the 2007 class is better, much better. Coming up, the Seahawks and Drake May looking dangerous. Hate the Patriots already back in contention. Yeah, it sucks, bro. It sucks. Lawrence, my guy, salute to you. Did you win your ticket yesterday? Are you $45,000 richer? So honestly, I think Jackson Dart might be in the next coming of Tua. Um, God, that's a hot take right there too. That's a hot take. Jackson Dart has been in a lot of tent protocols. He has had two concussion protocols this season already. He He's mobile. I think he's a little bit more accurate. I think he's a little bit better at pre-snap, right? I think he knows. I think he is a little bit loves football a little bit more. And I'm not saying Tua doesn't love the game or he wouldn't be playing with three concussions, right? I just think Jackson Dart is a little bit more involved when it comes to reading defense, when it comes to pre-snap read, when it comes to being decisive with where he's going to go with the football. Pete's got to go. Yes, please. No, Harrison Jackson Dart needs to play smart and get down. He might be dangerous, missing those pieces and saw the first energy. Yeah, he just needs to learn how to slide. And we've even heard John Gruden, right? John Gruden said 100 times that Jackson Dart, got to learn how to slide. Please get down. If you haven't watched Barstool Sports, go check it out on YouTube. John Gruden had Jackson Dart in before the draft, and he kept telling him, "Man, you need to learn how to slide. You need to learn how to slide. If I was a coach, I'd be telling you get down, get down." And Jackson Dart he's stubborn, bro. He's stubborn. Like he's got that moxie that he's gonna do it how he wants to do it, and if his career doesn't last long, then he's the only one that's got to suffer. But really, the team's gonna suffer. Raider fans are so nervous. The Chiefs don't fuck them again and let Vegas win tomorrow. Yes, Vegas fans are very, very nervous. Like the Raiders can't do anything right, and why do we think that Pete Carroll can come in and lose right when in every press conference and even the one today, he's been saying the Raiders are gonna win. The Raiders, we're doing everything we can to win. Um, Patrick Graham said today he would love to go out with the victory. Greg Olson said he would love to go out with a victory. Pete Carroll said he would love to go out with a victory for the players so they could have a celebration in the locker room. It's been too long. He wants the guys to end on a high note for next season. This dude's talking like he's going to be here next year. So, yeah, Raiders fans are a little nervous, but puckered like that, like that. Plus, the coach was trying to get players to the tent earlier. That's dangerous and dumb. Yeah, that's why the ball got fired. I'm sure it had a little bit to do with the Giants, but I'm sure the NFL was very, very upset with him constantly going to the tent in the middle of a game when he's supposed to be head coaching and watching what's going on in the field. That was crazy. That was one of the craziest things I ever seen on the sideline of a game. I've never seen a coach go to the tent 3 or 4 times to make sure his dude was okay. What's my opinion on Brock Bowers? I think he needs at least 10 targets a game minimum. I believe they need another receiver to stretch the field, a veteran that um, can take can take the double team away from Brock Bowers. But he's one of those ones. He's going to be a dog. He's going to be in a Pro Bowl every year. He's going to be an All Pro every year. He makes ridiculous catches. His hands are super strong. You can't say enough good about Brock Bowers. Brock Bowers could very likely be the best tight end in the NFL. Just needs to stay healthy. I don't know. I think there's a close competition, right? I think what the hell is his name? The kid over there in St. Louis. I almost said St. Louis. God, I show my age sometimes. At the Arizona Cardinals, uh, McBride. I think he's a absolute freak. I think there's a lot, man. There's a lot. I think the Chicago tight end they just drafted is a freak. Loveland, Colston Loveland. I think the Colts just drafted a freakish tight end. There's a lot. There's a lot of competition at tight end right now. But if he could be the best, right? I think he's good enough to have 1,000 yard season every year. I'm kind of feel bad for him that he didn't have 1,000 yards, even with the games he missed. I think he still should have had 1,000 yards. Yeah, us and the Dolphins have great draft picks. They're okay. Raider Nation, come on, Raider Nation. Real gay vibes. I don't know why you like gay vibes, bro, but this is not the place. Ryan, y'all need to pick Dante Moore because Quinn Ewers is not gonna be nothing manager, nothing but a game manager. I mean, but that's all. That's all the Dolphins need Quinn Ewers to be, right? Their defense is solid. They have a good defensive coordinator. They have a great offensive mind and a head coach. You know, they have Achon, or whatever the hell you say, dude's name back there in the running game. They have two great receivers, whether Tyreek comes back or not. They have, if Waller can stay healthy, like the Dolphins got weapons, and if that's all you need is Quinn Ewers to be a game manager, I think he can do it. I mean, how many games have the Dolphins won, and how many playoffs have they won with Tua, being a gunslinger, right? It hasn't worked out for them, even with those receivers and all that speed they got over there. So maybe they need to change it up. Maybe they need to try to get a game manager that can come in and protect the ball, give their defense a better chance, put their offense in, short field, help out their special teams. Honestly, you should get Trinidad Chambliss. I love Chambliss, man. I think this dude's upside is freakish. Everyone you said is on the Patriots too. I think he goes around and sounds like Kansas City and the Raiders are way back then. What? Everyone you said is on the Patriots too. Just goes around as a good like Kansas. I don't even know what you're saying. Yeah, sounds good. Hate that it is. Her touch could save the world, but her kiss burns it to the ground. I love you, Sister Abigail. We talking about wrestling now? What is your opinion on Zamir White? I think Zamir should have been a fullback. I really think people should listen to me when I speak more because I don't just come out here and speak to act like I'm just making shit up. Like I do my research and my homework with his speed, with his size. If you look at the Raiders back in the day, what they have, Marcel Reese, speed, fullback. They had, oh my God, I'm gonna actually draw a blank right now. Um, anyways, fullbacks, man. They've had fullbacks. Richie, they had, damn it, I can't think of it. It'll come to me in a minute. But the Raiders have always had a fullback, right? They've always had a fullback with speed that can block. I know he has them short arms, small hands for Zamir White, but a fullback would not be a bad spot, right? If you could just get in the offseason, work all year long on blocking, on getting underneath big ass dudes, on using your power because he's a strong ass dude, on using your power and your speed to just knock people off balance and open up holes for Ash and Genty. I think Zamir would have been all right, but his time in Vegas is done. It's contract season. This was a contract year. He didn't even get on the field. I think that's going to ruin his career. Somebody might pick him up and take a chance, but I don't know, man. I'm sorry we dropped Pete and Gino off to you. Logan, I'm sorry you did too. But thanks for your apology. Did you like Derek Carr and that whole era? I love Derek Carr. I think the Raiders' stupidest thing they ever did was getting rid of a top 10 quarterback for absolutely nothing after you just signed him to a $160 million deal. And people wonder why the Raiders suck. So yes, I'm a big Derek Carr fan, still a Derek Carr fan. I would not be mad if he came and played next season. I wouldn't care. Honestly, Dolphins should draft Trinidad Chambliss. Trinidad would be nice on the Dolphins also. But the Dolphins don't. I mean, if you're going with Quinn Ewers for 2 or 3 years, who's going to develop him, right? If you draft Trinidad Chambliss, you need a player in the building to develop him. Samir's all right, but I don't see him getting many touches behind Genty. No, he's gone this year. He's a free agent. The Raiders aren't going to bring him back unless the new coaching staff decides, hey, we need a fullback, and that would be the way to go. He can catch out of the backfield. It would be just an extra weapon. It just makes sense. He's more mobile than Kirk. He rolls out much more like Josh Allen with Tua arm talent pre NFL. Okay, I thought I knew ball pretty well, but you got me beat. Sweet. The Raiders suck. Mendoza is the next Jameis Winston. What? Mendoza is the next Jameis Winston, but can play. What? How is that? Look, Jameis Winston can play, bro. He can ball. The problem is he's got that Geno syndrome where you just throw interceptions and you throw to the wrong team. But he's got a hell of an arm. He's athletic as hell. And the Cardinals would have won a lot of games with Jameis Winston if they just had a defense. They just can't stop nobody. I mean, they're giving up 41 points to the Rams. They gave up 36 to the Jags, I believe. They gave up, I mean, shit, everybody they played just put a whomping on them. But the Cardinals were putting up points. They got a decent run game, a good head coach, young up and coming head coach. They got a bunch of first round receivers. So, Jameis Winston can ball, and I think Mendoza is more intelligent wise with the football. Shut up, bro. You're a hater. There's no reason to say that. What? Who's hating? First round quarterbacks are running backs are risky too. First round quarterbacks, first overall quarterbacks are the riskiest, the most risky, right? There's only, like I've said, in many lives over and over again, out of the last 25 years, 20 quarterbacks were taken first overall. Only nine of them have made it to the playoffs. Those nine combined for less playoff wins than Tom Brady and Brock Purdy drafted in the sixth and seventh round put together. So, yes, taking a quarterback in the first is very, very risky. I ain't gonna lie, Mendoza looked good, but the college football playoffs have been fantastic. Money. I don't know. Jameis won the Heisman, but whenever I watched him play, he was always a little bit inconsistent. Then once he hit the league, never surfaced, but definitely had high energy, great locker room guy. Well, I mean, that's just the way it goes in the NFL, right? It's because people hype up these guys. They draft them first overall. They don't do good their first year because they don't have a good offensive line or a defense to get them the ball back enough to, to actually do something. They throw them to the wolves their first year without actually developing them. They draft guys like Trinidad Chambliss. They draft guys like Dante Moore because they've seen these guys make it to a college playoff, against good defenses when they have great defenses and a great team around them, and they think that this dude's the next Tom Brady. But really, they're not. These kids need to stay in school. They need experience. The more experience you have, the better you're gonna do. Like, look at all Bo Nix. He wasn't the biggest hyped player, but all of a sudden, Bo Nix is killing it in the NFL. He gets in the right system with the right head coach, the right offensive coordinator, and a defense that, if you throw an interception, gets you the ball right back on a three and out. So, um, yeah. So yeah. So yeah. Jameis won a Heisman, but a lot of these guys are just they don't get time to develop, man. Look at look at Sam Darnold, right? They gave up on him. Look at um, all these guys, man. Look at the backup quarterback right now, Trey Lance for the Chargers. He looked like he had um, a hell of a preseason, right? Looked like he's developed an awful lot. But it took him 4 years because he was drafted at 18, 19 years old, 20 years old in the first round. Um, Look at Anthony Richardson. All the athletic traits in the world, can throw the ball 100 yards. But if you can throw it 100 yards and can't throw it to the right guy, then it doesn't matter. So development, development, development. And the NFL and, a lot of us doing mock drafts and hyping up all these quarterbacks and making them go out early saying, oh, they'll be a number one pick. And then all these analysts saying, oh, if he came out right now, he'd be a number one pick. And then they come out and they're number one pick and they fail because they're not set up for success. They're not developed, right? They don't have the weapons around them. And I mean, another guy. Look at um, Zach Wilson, bro. Look at the Jets quarterback, Zach Wilson. That guy in college, everybody was talking about Zach Wilson. He was the next big thing. He was going to be the shit. He could run the ball. He could throw the ball, right? He was having one of the greatest college football seasons of all time. He gets drafted to the Jets, and they suck. He goes to the Broncos. I watched some Bronco highlights of some games he played the year before they got Bo Nix. It looked like the same as Bo Nix, but yet they drafted Bo Nix and he got traded again, right? And now he's on the Miami Dolphins, and now the Miami Dolphins went and got Quinn Ewers, and he's bigger, taller, right? A little bit younger on a cheaper deal, and now they're passing up Zach Wilson again. But if Zach Wilson gets on the right NFL team, like the Rams are, a team with that can develop quarterbacks, the Minnesota Vikings, that dude might be the next big thing in the NFL. Like he has all the talent in the world. He just wasn't given a chance. Do you have a podcast? I'm asking because I have a nice radio speaking voice. You should be on radio. I appreciate you. No, I don't have a podcast. But I do have some of my YouTube's videos are on the podcast on what YouTube Music, Spotify or something. I don't know, and something else. But man, I appreciate you. Awful, awful kind words, Lawrence. Um, Watching, thinking about Old Miss Georgia game. What you thinking? What you thinking? Andy Reid also confirmed he's not retiring to the media. Well, I mean, of course. Why would you come out and say you're going to retire? Those are decisions that come with the offseason, right? He might get in the offseason, right? Get his feet up. Something might happen, right? He could get sick during the offseason, go to the hospital. Maybe he's not healthy. I mean, there's a lot of things that can happen in a couple months. So he could say he's not retiring, but we don't know for a fact. But again, I'm a Chiefs fan. So at the end of the day, I could care less. Bang, bang, Niner twang. Raider Nation. Come on, come on. Raider Nation. Marcus Banks, what to do? Appreciate you, my guy. Much respect to you. Always my brother. Always appreciate you popping in for a second. Raiders are so bad, dude. So bad, dude. Like totally. They're like totally bad. Like gag me with a spoon. Well, you got a couple, but not near Mendoza. Dante Moore and Ty Simpson will probably be first rounders. Um, Dante Moore and Ty Simpson probably won't come out. And if you look at the performance Ty Simpson just had with Alabama, do you really think this man's going to try to come out of the into the NFL draft? He had an absolute horrible game against a defense that just smothered him, and then he got benched. He got benched in the third quarter when they had plenty of time to come back and make it a game. They were only down by 20 points. They took Ty Simpson out of the game. I don't think he's entering the draft. And if he does, he sure the fuck ain't gonna be a number one pick or a first round pick or even a second round pick with that performance. So if he doesn't stay in school, he lost his mind. Yo, stop hating on the Raiders. They did nothing wrong. Um, you're right. They did nothing, which is why they're 2-14. That's fucked up, bro. Oh damn! It's almost midnight. How long have I been on here? Son of a bitch. Crosby's gone. That could be a possibility. Like we talked about it last night. Go back and watch my live last night. Um, he has business interests with Tom Brady and with Jim Gray outside of the Raiders, and for that, I believe unless Max Crosby wants to leave, he'll be a Raider for life. One thing about Jake May against Jackson Dart is he's at least smart enough to run out of bounds. Oh, absolutely, man, absolutely. The Colts are no longer a quarterback away. Rivers was the best player. The Colts are no longer a quarterback away. I mean, they were like 9-1 until their quarterback got hurt. I do believe. So I don't know. Harrison, I've been a little disappointed in Lamar. He's my favorite quarterback. Blah blah blah. Blah 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 blah. Sweet. Y'all talk to each other because I'm about to get through. Purple Raiders in the building. Appreciate you, my guy. Bueno was good. Whoa, I walked in on gay vibes. Wait, what? That's fucked up. What you talking about, dog? Gay vibes. About a girl in the building. My school, the University of Utah, dominated the Las Vegas Bowl, but we lost our coaches to Michigan. Yeah, Powder Girl, that sucks. And hell of a performance by Utah. And don't be surprised if there's two Utah players that end up making this Las Vegas Raider team next year in the draft. What's the breakfast? Protein, sausage, bacon, ham, chisel. I don't know. I don't know. I do not know. Have you drank water today? No, no. I never drink water. Raiders. You serve your time at where'd I serve my time at? It's hooked up, bro. It's messed up. Ain't never been to prison, dog. But thanks for your assumption, um, and your stereotyping. It's messed up, dog. It's messed up. Why does it keep going away? Hey, my girlfriend got 2 months and asked if I could pay her phone bill. Should I do it? What? Of 2 months wants you to pay her phone bill? Nah, bro. Nah, bro. You tell her, is she gonna pay you back? Don't be paying people's phone bill. You better get that money. 2 months? Come on, man. You guys gonna win tomorrow night. Niners. Who's gonna win tomorrow night? Niners or Seahawks? Who do the Raiders need to win? That's who I'm picking. I believe. Hold on, hold on. I have it right here somewhere. Oh fuck! I had it right here. I don't know. Oh, right here, right here, right here. Um, I need San Francisco to beat the Seahawks. So I'm rooting for the 49ers because if the Raiders fuck around and fall into a win, which is very likely they could possibly do if the Kansas City Chiefs are not trying to win. I need the San Francisco to beat Seattle. I need the Cincinnati Bengals to beat Cleveland. I need the New Orleans Saints to beat Atlanta. And we need the Detroit Lions to beat Chicago. So I am rooting for all of those because I would love nothing more than to go be able to know that come game time, we could stomp the shit out of it with Kansas City Chiefs with Aiden O'Connell. I would love it. I would love it. I would love it. So especially if you ain't getting any other right. You're gonna pay her phone bill to text other dudes. Oh, that's cold, G. That's cold shit. I'm a Raider fan from Philly. They killed me this year trying to get me to convert, but I've been at this for over 35 years. Shout out to you, my guy. 35 years is a long time. I'm 50. I'll be 51 in a couple months. And yeah, I feel your pain, bro. It's the only team I ever rooted for in my life, and it hurts. It hurts. I didn't know we had 4 preseason games, including this last game. I think we got 5 preseason games, right? 5 preseason games, 3 and then 2 during the season. But according to Pete, every game's been preseason. That Gino needed practice. Tell her that you'll pay her bill. If you look, if you could look through her phone. Raiders, GMX in the building. Still ain't beat them. Whatever. Raiders far from Newark, New Jersey. Damn. I thought when we had the worst record, you would at least get the first round pick. I understand why all those other teams have to win. Do this right. Question: what are your expectations for this game? Poor, the same, or worse? Say game. Um, I really don't think Pete Carroll could get this team to play well if he offered to if he offered everybody a bonus in their salary. I just don't think they are on the Pete Carroll train. I think they stopped believing in what he's putting down. I don't think they're picking it up. I believe that this team is checked out of Pete Carroll a long time ago, and I think they still care for the old man, right? Because he's an old man, and I still think he's like a father figure or a grandfather figure in the building, and his legacy out of respect. I think the fans are, the players are just going out and playing, but there's nothing together about this team on the field. There's nothing that the coaches are calling that's working, and I think it would take a miracle, um, or Aiden O'Connell to win this game. I know your team are in the same division, but as fans, different teams. But I dig your laid back vibes, my brother. Appreciate you, my guy. Appreciate that. Yeah, I don't hate on other teams. It's always f the other 31, but I don't hate on nobody. If you think you're gonna win, remember you're a Raiders fan. That's fucked up, bro. That's messed up, bro. That's so messed up. That's so messed up. I don't know why I could laugh at your guys' Raider jokes. Usually, you'd be getting sniped out of the chat, but you know, it's I can't. What can I say? Oh, question after the game. Will Pete be hired? Question or Pete be hired? You mean fired? Or wait 2 weeks? I believe they're gonna. I believe they're gonna make some phone calls. I believe they're gonna see how many people they can get in to come and do the interview before they release Pete Carroll. And I think I don't even know if they're gonna let Pete go. I know they might find a place for Pete Carroll inside the building, right? Maybe he can do Mark's job. Maybe he could be Mark, not Mark. Maybe he could be Tom Brady's yes man, and you know whatever Mark, whatever Tom Brady tells him, you know that's what he gets the coaches to do. I don't know. I don't know if they're gonna completely move on from Pete. We don't even know if he's gonna get fired, but more than likely he is and should. And what they waited 2 weeks before they fired AP, right? Or a week. He had a couple press conferences. They asked him, about his job. He said, I'm under contract. So the Raiders are dirty, man. The Raiders are dirty. Shout out for the hand claps. And you never know. But if they were smart, they would just do it right away. I believe they've already told Pete Carroll, hey, at the end of the season, we're going to let you go. It would be nice if you would just, say you're retiring at the end of the year and save us both a little bit of headaches, right? Maybe they'll make him do like Jack Del Rio and come out in his press conference and say, Mark Davis just fired me because he wants to go with John Gruden. I don't know. Shout out to the Broncos fan. Mm, I can tell you this hot take. If Al Davis was alive and there was any rumors of Joe Burrow being on a trading block, he would be a Raider. 100%. If Al Davis was alive, as soon as those rumors came up, he would be on the phone doing everything he could to make Joe Burrow a Raider. So, if that's any constellation to you, I don't know. Tom Brady gonna suit up? I mean, Tom Brady's ruining this team, bro. He needs to make a decision whether he wants to be part of it or he wants to be part of Fox. But right now, every decision he's made has been a bust, right? He went and drafted Cam Miller. Everybody said Cam Miller was his pick. Also, Tommy Malott was also rumored to be a Tom Brady pick, right? Those were the guys that he thought could be the next Patriot way. Tommy Malott and Cam Miller, and both of those guys are no longer with the team after a year. Malott didn't even make it through training camp. So he tried to get, Matthew Stafford. That didn't work out. He ended up signing off on Geno Smith. So Tom Brady has a lot of making up to do as far as I'm concerned. On my side of it, I don't know how y'all feel about Tom Brady. Let me know in the comments below. But for me, Tom Brady's got a whole bunch of shit to do. Like, we're going to have to make the playoffs for the next 3 years for me to even think that Tom Brady being part of this franchise is worth even even talking about anymore. Because right now, it don't look good. And I think people have hidden agendas on this team, right? Mark Davis is the only Davis alive. And I think everybody knows that. Just start with all the backups. Make sure we lose. No starters. I like that, Arnie Garza. I like that 100%. Um, I would love to see Dylan Labe get at least 10, 15 carries in this game. I would love to see Collier. I would love to see Collier get at least, 5, 10 carries in this game. Um, I don't want to see these quarterbacks passing unless they have to, but then it's going to look like you're trying to lose the game. But I would like to see a bunch of different offensive linemen. I would like to see Dalton Wagner play right guard and see if he can play for a whole quarter against Kansas City's defensive front. Question: which players on both sides of the ball are you most interested in watching Sunday? Well, I was just talking about that. I would definitely like to see Dalton Wagner. I would like to see Collier. I would like to see Dylan Labe. I would like to see Decamarion Richardson play a whole lot of corner. I would like to see um, I would like to see the safety or the corner that they brought in, Chidism or whatever his name is, the other corner. I would like to see probably Will Putnam back at center. um, I want to see all these guys, man. I want to see what they got. I definitely want to see Charles Grant. I want to see Charles Grant play the right tackle, start the right tackle, and play the whole entire game and see what he has through an entire game. If you don't know, and I didn't mention it, um, Pete Carroll did say that he would like to see Charles Grant start and get as much playtime as possible. So, Rebel, what you eating? I am eating Butterfinger candy. Try not to smoke. I'm gonna get a gut. I already ate way more today than I should have. Try not to smoke damn cigarette. Can I get a shout out? Shout out to Evan. Still can't get over the Tuck rule. We probably should have won the Super Bowl and probably the following after that loss. I mean, we had the defense, we had the team. Gave you a shout out. All right, man. I appreciate everybody in the building. Arnie Garza says, question: quarterbacks from best or worst? Mendoza, Moore, Trinidad, Simpson, Beck. I don't know why this is a topic. Not to be, I'm not trying to be rude, but I just don't feel like any of these guys are going to be in the draft. Maybe Trinidad and Mendoza and Beck, but the other two, Moore and Simpson, I mean, I don't know if they're even in the conversation. But keep an eye on Carson Beck. I'm gonna tell you that. Keep an eye on Carson Beck. He might be goofy, right? Goofy looking. He might have all the tattoos. It might have a Lamborghini and all these cars and shit already at 23 or 4 years old, whatever he is. But what he has done is he's come to Miami. He helped change the culture on that offense. And he has that team, whether they have the best defense in all of college football. Carson Beck has that team playing very, very well. He's not turning the ball over. He's being a very, very well game managed, and Carson Beck could surprise some people, right? If there's a team willing to take a chance on Carson Beck and let him sit for a year in the NFL, I think he could be a very serviceable starter for, maybe not, a franchise guy for 10 or 20 years, but, for 3, 4, 5 years, I think Carson Beck could get better. And if you would have asked me about Carson Beck last year, I wouldn't have felt the same. But this year, I've been impressed what he's done at Miami. It's been impressive. What about the Colts? And him and Brock Bowers. Him and Brock Bowers again would make a nice little thing. What about the Colts? Um, I don't know about the Colts. Next year will be fine with Daniel Jones. They still have all the same pieces. We'll see what they do with their coaching staff. Don't like him. Ready? My comments up top. What? I don't know what you said. What about the Colts? Make sure you hit thumbs up. Fernando Mendoza to Las Vegas. Tom Brady, appreciate everybody in the building. Shout out with the 199. Appreciate you. Question: what is your game's question? Who is your game one starter for the team next season? Aiden O'Connell. Aiden O'Connell. Aiden O'Connell. The Raiders are trading Max to the Cowboys. It very well could happen. But appreciate the 18 people in the building. I hate to leave with this many people in, but it's midnight. There's people sleeping here. Gotta go. Got shit to do. Join me tomorrow. We'll be live for some NFL football. A little game watch to see if possibly our Raiders could go in to the season, or in the season on a high note. Um, but make sure you like, subscribe, follow, tickle the notification bell to turn it on. It likes it, so you'll be notified when I drop more content. Shout out again for the $2 holla. Um, Again, we're trying to get to 2,000 before the season is over, before the Super Bowl. So appreciate y'all. Like, subscribe, share it with your homeboys, share it with your people, share it with your sneaky link. You know, share it. Peace out. Much love. Appreciate you. Always protect your mind, your comment, your family, yourself, and go Raiders. Peace. Raiders. Just love, baby. Just love.